You're welcome. You're welcome. Good morning, everybody. You're welcome to today's live session. Branded Ben, I greet you. I greet you, Mr. Ben. How's it going? I hope you're doing great. All right. So you're welcome to today's live session. Today is Friday the 30th. So this is going to be our last for the month of January. Hello, am I audible, please?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, I got skipped out there. Okay, so I was talking about the news. So we have 2:30 news today. That was CAD and USD. All right. So let's see what we have for some currency. So if you are looking at anything, you can drop it so we check it out together. Because for now, we don't have much in the markets. We don't really have much in the market, so we're just going to touch just a few things. I don't think we should even spend a lot of time today on the live session. So we'll just touch a few things and then we call it a day. So if there's anything that you are looking at, feel free to drop it and then we can stop by and touch it. All right. Okay. So we see the crazy movement that happened yesterday. I hope we all saw the crazy movement that happened yesterday, and it's still happening. So in the space of how many minutes, gold dropped how many pips? Over 400 pips.
Now only the road in the city.
You see the crazy drop that happened on gold yesterday. Very crazy. This candle, very, very crazy drop that happened on gold yesterday. Yeah, I just dropped my phone to do something, and then I turned around and then I saw that gold has dropped. I was like, wow. What happened here? What happened here? So it's very, very crazy, very fast. In just, I think, seconds, few or maybe minutes or so, it just had this big drop, and then it's did a little bit of a retracement, and then it has continued in that in the direction of that drop now again. So what is gold trying to do? We can't really tell, but it's just trying to do a pullback for now. We're just trying to do
All indication
a
that
little bit.
the buy no, so
Please, who is
you must
pressing
have
my
missed.
Please be careful to not unmute your mic and disturb the house, please. Because I've muted everybody. All right. So gold just did a very big drop yesterday. So I think we are trying to retrace. We're simply trying to have a little bit of a retracement and before we continue buying. So we had this sort of base here. We had a little bit of consolidation. We know that when gold this, it likes to locate the most recent consolidation, where price was having a hard time before breaking above. So gold likes to go back to interact with those kind of areas before it continues. Okay. So I spotted this base here, and that is where gold came down for.
Hello, Sito. Hello, good morning, everyone. Do you have Valentine on the call? Yeah, good
Hello,
morning.
Mr. Jerry. Please, can you hear me?
Yeah. What happened
Okay.
to your network? You went off.
No. I had to attend to my
Okay,
I'm
go
having
ahead.
some problems health-wise, please. Sorry about that. Okay. So we had this base. All right, where we expected gold to bounce from. Okay. And when we had the big drop, that is where gold did the bounce from. So gold is currently back inside this zone. So we just have to watch out to see what the next step is going to be for gold. If it's going to use here, if it's going to use here to buy back, then from here we can go back to previous DOL. We know that from here we can go back to all-time highs again and continue our buys. But if we don't get a good buying information from here, then we know that we can even have deeper pullbacks. Is that okay? So for now, that is what we are seeing on gold. This is the most recent area that price is currently interacting with. So if we get a good 4 hours information today, if we get a good 4 hours information, maybe a sweep and break or something, or maybe a fully bullish engulfing candle formation like this, then we know that we can use that guide to continue buying gold. Okay. The thing is, no matter how extended an instrument is, at some point it has to do a pullback. Okay, it has to do a pullback, grab some liquidity, and then continue in the direction. And you can see we had a fair value gap around that zone, and we had this consolidation. So price will always like to go back to interact with such areas before it continues in its direction. So that's what we're having here. And for now, that's what's happened. So we just have to be patient and watch what gold wants to do next. I don't think we should be in a hurry to press buy or to press sell in this kind of situation. So let us see what gold does today, and then we can draw our deductions and get our next activity for gold. Mr. Jerry?
Thank you, Sito. Yes, in line with what you just said, from what we have on the chart. Before I speak on what we have on the chart, let's look at the drivers. What's actually driving gold? Why do we have this strong correction that happened yesterday? Yes, there's been this rumor that President Donald Trump is going to change the Federal Reserve chair. And then yesterday, it was confirmed that today, Trump was going to be announcing the new Federal Reserve chair. And every indication is showing that he's going to be nominating Kevin Walsh as the new Federal Reserve chair. So because of this, a lot of market participants are looking at seeing the dollar regaining strength. And so people began to sell off the major currencies against the dollar yesterday. That was why we had this correction. However, the uncertainties and the panic around the global economy is still very strong. People are still the banks are still looking at buying gold. When gold hit that zone that you drew yesterday at the tip, you can see the way it bounced off. It bounced almost 80% of that drop back and closed in that. Yes, showing that there's still very strong buying pressure. So what we are seeing now currently is that gold is currently coming to retest that zone. And if you look at that zone very well, if you measure from where your cursor is, I can see your cursor here by my left up to the high, that should be like 50% level. That zone should be 50% level. So what we are waiting for, as I speak, I'm already in the trade at that zone because price has currently taken out the low of yesterday. So I'm looking for a bounce on the 1 hour chart. In the next 1 hour, we'll have a very good bounce and then we can have a good buy, a continuation of the rally. If price moves from that zone, we might go back to that high that we had at 5595 zone. So that's the situation of things. The bank are still looking at, buying more of gold, while we also await the announce of the new Federal Reserve Chair today, later today. So that's it for me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Jerry. Thank you for the insights. So that is that for gold. So if you are going to be taking a small risk at this point, or you want to wait for a bounce, you know, get something like this, something to at least negate all of these highs, okay? Something to at least break this high that we have here. Then we can now join in and then we buy. So else we just sit out for now. Else we're just going to sit out for now, and or you want to join the buy, you know how to approach that. Okay, so that is that for gold. Let's go on to something. So let's check Euro USD and the rest. These currencies currently, I don't have anything very, very solid on them because of where they currently are in the markets. Okay, we have already analyzed this in the past days, so we can just quickly throw more light on it, and then for maybe people that missed it. So on the monthly, let me clear the chart. So on the monthly, we can see this on Euro USD. Okay, so we have this. This was like a complete leg. All right, this was a complete leg, making here to here a trading range. Okay, we had this, so we make here to here a trading range. So if we draw our Fibonacci, of course, from the top here to the bottom, you can see that price has risen as high as even the 80% of the Fibonacci. And we know that price is now heavily in premium zone, okay? If you're using here to here as your trading range, now price is heavily in the premium zone. Good. Now we clear this. Now still on the monthly time frame, we can see that price has traded inside this monthly order block here. Okay, so we have a monthly order block where price is currently sitting down inside. Okay, if you go to the weekly now and the daily, you see that it's just the price just tapped on those zones. Nothing very tangible has happened yet on that monthly time frame. If you go to the daily, same thing on the daily, price just taps it with a big candle and then it's just trying to do a pullback. What we're expecting price to do maybe on the weekly time frame or the daily is that price should sweep the previous start selling, but we have not had any tangible reaction yet from the monthly order block. Now, if it's going to sell, then you know that price definitely is going to create a good and solid expansion to the downside, and then we can sell. Now, following this, you can see that we still had this buy area here. Can you see? We still had this buy area that's looking that is looking inside our premium zone. So if price is well and truly going to sell, then these areas like this are going to be violated. Okay, so if these areas are violated, then we know that we are now clear for the sales. If price maybe next week comes down here and gives us a reason to buy and then goes and destroys this monthly order block, then we know that price is just going to do a pullback into somewhere discounted, and then we're going to continue the buy. So for now, we are in crossroads, okay, on Euro USD. We are in crossroads because we have some nice reasons to buy here. We have some nice reasons to buy here, but at the same time, all right, we are inside a sell order block from the monthly time frame. So if you find yourself in such situations, you just wait for price to give you a clear direction. Because at this point, this is like contradicting information. You're having a reason to sell, having a reason to buy. So I don't like to engage in this kind of situations. Okay, so let price give us either a clear and solid expansion to the downside, then we sell, or price will go ahead and disregard this whole order block. Then we just continue buying. Is that okay? Because for now, all I can just look at is that price is just, after this big push, price is just looking like it wants to do a small pullback and continue. Okay, so until I get a sweep and then an expansion down, then I'm sure that there is now strong backing behind the sell. Then we can start selling, or strong backing behind the buy. And then also, with what Mr. Jerry just said, when the new Fed chair when the new Fed chair is going to be announced, there is tendency that Euro USD may experience some how do I call it, some drastic move in the market. So I think maybe after today we should get a clear idea of what this Euro USD is trying to do. Is that okay? After today, likely we should get a clear idea of what Euro USD is likely to do. Same thing with GBP USD. These are the major currencies, okay? The major currencies. So price on the GU, price is not really, there's no serious, let me check the monthly time frame if there's any major. Okay, we are just in a premium price, but there isn't any other block like we saw on Euro USD. There's no other block that price is currently reacting from. Price is simply in the premium zone. If I draw my feed from here to here, price is just in the premium zone, but there isn't anything like it was on Euro USD. So the same thing that we're looking at for GU is that GU is also looking at, you see this, there is a very nice reason to buy. Price is showing us some nice key levels for buy. So at the same time, we are in a premium zone. So if price comes here, you see this line was like a key level. We were here, and then price now broke it here. If price comes here and then does a new push, then you know that we are likely to continue those buys. Okay, we have been very, very bullish on these pairs. Okay, since they started these big bullish legs, we have been having reasons to buy. So for now on GU, we have here and then we have here. So if price should break here and then come here and give us the expansion, they know that this guy is likely going to buy. But if we have serious bearish momentum, and then we keep breaking to the downside, then we know that these buys are no longer going to hold. Then we can now switch our focus to start selling. Is that okay? So that's what we're going to be doing now for Euro USD and GBP USD. I'm not going to tell you buy now or sell now. I'm going to tell you wait for a new expansion to form. Wait for a new information that either backs the buys to form or something that shows you that the sell is ready to start. Then you now follow the sell. Else you just sit out. I just advise that you sit on your hands for now, so that you don't you are not. The simple idea is when you're taking a trade, take a trade that you can be relaxed, that you are inside that trade, not a trade that you are being very fidgety. If I click a buy now or a sell now, I'll be fidgety because I know that there's a possibility of a buy happening and a sell happening. So I don't like such trades. I like trades that I know that yes, it was really pointing to one direction, and then I took that trade in that direction, and then I am relaxed in that trade. Okay, so that's how we should be approaching the markets, please. So for now, I've given my view on this, so we are just going to move on from there to something else. All right. So let's look at US 30. I don't intend to keep us too long on the call. I asked that if there's anything that you are looking at on the chat, that you drop it, but nobody has dropped anything. So I think we are all set for the weekend. Okay, so that's fine. So the daily now, the last information we had for US 30 is we had this range, this expansion. Okay, we had this range. So what we're expecting price to do is that price should retrace as it has done and then go back and complete this move. Okay, so that's where we are currently on US 30. So we had this range, we had a range like this. You can trace it from this key level. So price was supposed to just come here and then do what? And then finish the move on this draw liquidity. Okay, so now let's see what price is doing on the H4. Now, I like, there are some areas of interest that I'm seeing, but there's one that is really catching my eye, and it is this guy. I like this zone a lot. I like this zone a lot because the leg started from here. We had a sweep. We had a sweep of this thing here. We had a sweep of liquidity here. Right, price went on to break all of this structure, and then this guy now is looking like It's looking like inducement for me. If I trace it to the back to this guy, you see that it's forming some form of equal lows in the market. Can you see? It's forming some sort of equal low in the market. So on US 30, I'm looking at price doing a sweep, touch this guy, and then we can do what? And then we can buy all the way till this DOL that is here. Is that okay? So when we touch here, we can now do what? We can now buy all the way till draw on liquidity. So that's what we are looking at now for US 30. Some people may argue that, yeah, this guy is looking good too. That's fine. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. This guy is also looking very nice. Using here as your liquidity. So if you're going to be taking something here, you know that when price makes its way down inside this guy, okay? When price makes its way into this guy, you wait for H1 to give you something. Of course, the same thing that you will do here. So when price enters this guy, you wait for H1 to give you a confirmation. If you have a confirmation, you can put on a small risk and see how price can buy to this place. But if this guy should fail, then you know that there is a chance that price just wants to use this other block here to buy. So we have two POIs now. Okay, we're having two POIs for US 30. So both of them are actually very valid, please. Both of them are very, very valid. So when price trades here, you can now scale down to the H1 or M45, wait for price to give you something. When price gives you a bounce and then it breaks structure, you can now use here to start buying. Or if this guy should fail, you know that price just is trying to use here as liquidity. Price wants to use this guy as liquidity, then to sweep it, and then the same thing again. When we have price do something like this, we can now start looking for an opportunity to buy. Is that okay, please? So that is what we're going to be looking at for US 30. So just be on the lookout. These guys may happen probably next week. So at least maybe we should see how we can make some money from US 30 in the coming weeks. Okay. All right. Let me see. What do we have for some of this? What's BTC saying? What's BTC saying? Let's look at BTC. BTC has finally taken the low that we had here. So the trade, remember the trade we had here, the 2-hour trade that we got from here, that one hit TP, I think yesterday or was it the day before. We had a small 2-hour trade here, and we hit TP on the trade. So that was a good trade. Now, price has done something with all the drama that happened yesterday. Of course, you know, Bitcoin was not left out, okay? So Bitcoin came and did a big push to the downside. It's clear on the daily. See what happened on the daily, right? Let me clear this. See what happened on the daily? This was the place that we entered from. So price has now done what? A big drop to the downside. So this whole area from here, this whole fair value gap from here to here is looking like a zone that price will likely come back, and then we look for a sell from these areas. Is that okay? This whole area now is looking like an area that price will trade into before we sell. Another thing that is happening in those zones is that I'm seeing the presence of key levels. Okay, we have this guy here. We have this. We started from this low. Price played with that zone here, and then came back and played with that zone here. And then price has finally broken beyond that guy. So I'm expecting that price will use here to sell. Is that okay? Then there's another one. That I saw. This low here. Price played with that low here, played with the low here, and then price has finally broken beyond that zone. And all of this is still within the fair value gap that I'm telling you that price will likely come back to sell from. So in the coming periods, I'm expecting that BTC can do something like a pullback inside this zone, give us an accumulation, or in this case, it's called a distribution. Give us a form of distribution, and then we can now do what? We can now look for continuation on the sales. Okay, so BTC started giving us the information. It was building it up. So finally, it has done what? It has broken beyond all those zones. Now we can just expect price to pull in into this guy as a form of retracement and then pull down. We know that when we have key levels in the market like this, price likes to, go back to interact with those key levels before doing the major move. So how far can we sell? Let's see. Let's see how far can we sell. Can we get a sell to At least this guy is going to be one of the targets, and then this low also will be one of the targets. So anywhere within 80,000 and 74,000 on BTC will be our targets. Okay. So you know what we do now? We're going to expect price to give us some sort of alignment in this zone. If we get that, then we can now start selling. All right. Else we will just leave it alone. Okay. So that's that for BTCs. So what else do we have? Let me see. Okay, Euro AUD. This one is just direction for next week. This one is just direction for next week. So we are dropping inside a key level, a major key level for Euro AUD. So you see, price did this. There's an area here. This was the area that price did the last drop before it's bought. So this guy is a very, very key area that price can likely interact from. And then you see that it has also run into an FVG here. So it may not happen today, but at these areas we'll start to look for a reason to buy. So if we get some buy information around these zones from next week, then we know that we are good to start looking for buy trades. Okay. So that's that. So I just want to drop that for Euro AUD. So all of these guys here are looking like liquidity that price will go back to fill. Okay, all these guys looking like liquidity. So price will just go back to the high that started all this retracement. All of this is a retracement. So price is just going to go back and fill up all those highs. Go back to take the high that started this entire retracement. So that's how price moves. Okay, when price does something like this, then it starts to retrace. This is the high here that started the retracement. So when it comes here, it taps something, it has to go back to take that high. Okay, so that's that for Euro AUD. I just want to point out that direction so that if we get something from here in the coming weeks, we can start looking for an opportunity to trade. Let me see the daily. Okay, daily swept yesterday. It's trying to buy. Let's see the H4. Okay. H4 started expanding already. H4 started expanding. Let's see. H2, H1. It's already looking good. It's already looking very, very good. It's already looking very, very good. I like what price is doing here. Already looking very good. This is price just trying to interact from the fair value gap. Okay. So let us see. At this zone, you can enter with confirmation at this guy. This is a sweep. We had a sweep of this structure here. We had a break. And then this is some form of inducement. Okay. So when price stops here, you can go to 15 minutes and enter your trade when it gives you a bounce. Okay. The reason I'm looking for confirmation there is because we still have this guy down here. Usually I just tell you take your trade from there. But because we still have this whole area down here, anything can happen. All right. So that's that for EA. Let's see what else do we have. What's GA saying? Okay. GA is looking good too. So this is direction. GA is looking good. Look at this. So we have tapped inside this this form of weekly order block. Can you see? This guy here is serving as our inducement. So we can start looking for a buy for GA. So the same thing that we just pointed out, you see, all of this is looking like liquidity that price will finally go back to take all the way to this high. Can you see that? So this is how we build it up from scratch. So now we have tapped the area. So we can now go to lower time frame to start looking for alignments. Okay. Let me see. I'm not start looking for an alignment. Let me see what the H4 is saying. Okay. H4 started breaking structure. That started breaking structure. But it's not enough yet. So I want something like this. When we can break here, then we can now start buying. Okay. So let's wait for a new expansion to the upside on GBP AUD. Then we can now start buying. All right. We can now start buying. It's looking very good. It's looking very good. It's looking very good. So let's see what what next week has for us. Let's see what next week has for us. Okay. What this guy say? All right. So USD CHF. USD CHF is simply a sell information. We don't have anything that suggests buys for now. Nothing suggests buys for now. So this is the last place. See, this low here is the last place that price broke. So we just want price to pull back inside these zones and then we continue selling. As simple as that. This is how you play continuation. Yeah? You just look for the last expansion that happened. That is likely where you are going to continue your trade from. We also have some sort of other block that is lying down here. So you see it's coinciding with an area that we want to sell from. So when price does a pullback inside these zones, then we can now do what? We can now continue our sales. Okay. I think that's that. I've done GA. Did we done the Euro G? No, I don't have anything yet for this guy. Okay, so let me do GJ. Somebody asked for GJ, and then we can call it a weekend or a week. What is GJ saying? Okay, so the JPY pairs are resuming their bullish charge. So I think we should look to engage. All right, they are resuming the bullish charge, so we should look to engage. So we had this area here. We had this area here that I wanted to buy from. That's good, but price has given us another area. This area was an old low in the market on the daily. You know, see, this area was a major zone. So price has come back to sweep that place with a candle wick. So we know that there is a tendency we are going to do what? We are going to buy back to this place. Can you see? That's how you build it up. So from this low, that price has swept with a body like this. There's a tendency we are going to use this guy to buy back till this high. Okay, so that's daily. Now let's see what the H4 is saying. Okay, so H4 did an expansion here. H4 did this expansion. Price came down and then it just swept the low briefly. So we are trying to expand again. Okay, we are trying to expand again. So when we expand, we should look for a possible trade. When we finally, in the next 48 minutes, when we get this expansion, we should look for a possible trade. Let me see what it will look like. 2 hours, 1 hour. We don't have a fair value gap in this range. Oh, this is not good. Everything is so balanced. Everything is so balanced. So balanced. Let me go to lower time frame. There's no FVG. All the price action here is very, very balanced. But I like what price is doing here. Okay. I like that price has, let me show you. I like that price has swept this low. It's small, that swept that low a little bit. And then it's now trying to do what? It's now trying to expand. So it's looking like price will just do, after this expansion, that's not falling. After this expansion, price will just do a pullback and then continue. Okay, so I believe that we are still going to see a trade. Maybe so what you do in this situation is when price takes the high, you just use the Fibonacci. Okay, so wherever the expansion occurs, let's say we expand at this area, so you just know that price is going to likely do a pullback into the 50 and then you trade. So when you don't have a proper order block or fair value gap to look out for a trade from, what you now do is you just use the Fibonacci. Okay, you just make use of the Fibonacci. So from the low to the high of the expansion, just put your 0 and then from here to here. Then anywhere the 50% is, you know that from there is a chance to start trading from. So that's what we're going to use in the case of GBP JPY. Okay, we're going to use our FIB to look at taking a trade. All right, so that's going to be that for today. Let me see. I think there's another Euro JPY that is looking good like this. Let me see. Yes, the same thing for Euro JPY. Please, as GJ is doing it, you know, Euro JPY they work almost hand in hand. So price has taken this low, so we should trade till this side. Please try to make money on JPY in this period. JPY is looking good. Try to make money on JPY. So let's see the H4. This one is looking nice too. You see how price did this sweep down and then it's expanding again. So in the next 46 minutes, this guy is going to be done with the expansion. Look at the expansion here. Price is trying to expand. Look at the line chart. Can you see that? Good. In the next okay, that expanded though. That expanded. This body has given us the expansion. That's nice. That's nice. So let us see. Did we have a fair value gap at this range too? It's doing the same thing that this guy is doing. It's doing the same thing that GJ is doing. So we're now going to use our fee, okay, from the low till the high. Then we know that we can expect a buy from these regions from a discounted price to continue the trade till the upside. All right. So I believe that's that. And we are just going to look at how we can continue buying all the way till we reach this guy, till we reach this high here. All right. So we have a clear road to trade and make money. So even if you want to focus on JPY for today, and then you just look for trade opportunities, I think you are very, very free to do that. Let's see what gold has done before we go. Let's go sit in that zone. Ah, wow. Gold has done a deep pull down. Oh. Has done a deep pull down. Okay. So let's wait for the bounce now. Let's wait for price to come back and do this. Then we can now continue. Okay. All right. So I think that's that for today. Thank you very, very much, Mr. Jerry, Branded Ben, Damasus, Edward, Ogale, Felix, Festus. Just feel free. The 2K in there that we have, Desomi and Dada, I greet you too, especially. Mr. Femi, well done. Oluti, I greet you. Emmanuel, Onosakonome Emmanuel, sorry if I don't pronounce your name well. I greet you. Peter, I greet you. Ransom, I greet you. And Yaya, I greet you. Thank you very much, everyone. Hope we had a blessed week. So let's go ahead and, let's relax, refresh, reset, and come back strong for the next week. Thank you very much, everyone. See you on Monday. Goodbye.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.